Mike, I'm going to go a bit dark with the introduction today because when I was a second year veterinary student, so that would be the year I met you, in fact, Dr. Mike, the first semester of our second year in veterinary school was absolutely hands down and remains the worst year of my life. I ended up not liking any of my classes because there was nothing clinical or real world. My dad got diagnosed with a terminal illness, and then I got mononucleosis and nearly had to step aside for a year, and kind of get it all together again. And in fact, I think now what a mistake it would have been. But if something had happened where I couldn't have continued through veterinary school my second year, I don't think I was engaged enough at that point in my career to go back.
Hmm. That
How's that for dark?
that is dark. Hopefully, our guest today will be a little bit better than what.
I'm hoping so.
I mean, it can't be a lot worse.
That is the hope. So I'm excited to hear,
Welcome to the Vets Unleashed.
where we gather animal professionals and animal enthusiasts to discuss the most pressing, silly, and interesting topics in the animal kingdom. I'm Dr. Scott.
And I'm Dr. Mike. Today, we are catching up with our favorite person in the entire world. Wouldn't you say, Scott?
Oh, hands down.
Yeah.
Who else would even come close?
I mean, it's like she's probably a little bit above you on like who I like to have on the podcast, and I think it's the same for you.
I thought you were going to say in terms of like overall veterinary knowledge. I'm like, yeah, probably.
Probably. Well,
I don't know about that. I don't know about any of those, but
well, welcome back, Stephanie.
Hi,
Yay!
it's nice to see you guys
Yeah,
again.
you too.
It is. Now we have to ask, is your second year of veterinary school going better than my second year of veterinary school went?
In some ways, yes, but in other ways, no.
Oh no!
Academically, I think I'm drowning right now. We have
Mm.
so many exams, and the material is 10 times harder.
Mhm.
And I think just like more detailed. So my brain is, I don't know how much more I can fit in here, actually. It's pretty full at the moment.
Yeah.
And then I got to, find time to like eat and do normal human things. And oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, yeah. I remember it. It was. I think second year was bad for everybody at Iowa State as well, because I had a very
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have the. I wasn't ill, and I didn't have any, family drama, horrible things going on. But I just
Right.
remember it being. I remember it being like so very didactic, very, just so much information, and it didn't seem to fit into anything at that point. I don't know the way you're doing it. Do you do is it more clinically based, or is it just like lecture, lecture, lecture?
It's mainly lecture, and then we have like a couple discussions, and those are just like, oh, here's a case. How do we, diagnose this case? And then there's like histology labs and anatomy labs, but overall, it's mainly lecture. But thankfully, I have like a lot of clinical work because I have a job outside of just school. But it's just a lot. I don't think my brain can take much more.
And what did you? And you just finished what?
Yes, so we just finished
Oh,
cardiopulmonary block. So it was 6 weeks of hearts and lungs, and
wow.
the heart wasn't so bad. I really liked it. I liked the information. It was just a lot, like within, the
Yeah.
certain amount of weeks we had to fit in, and then lungs are a different story.
Could you explain V to Q mismatch for us?
Yeah, that's a great question. No.
The way you say that is you say, yeah, why don't you look that up and get back to me?
Of course I
Yeah.
can, just not right now.
Yeah, or let me say like, oh, let me go ask another vet really quick, and
Yeah,
then I'll come back and
That's what
tell
we
you.
all do. We still to this day go look things up. Like, I think it's this, and then you look it up.
Yeah.
But you know what? In your honor, in honor of finishing that rotation, that block, we have a drink. And Scott, you
Ew.
found this drink, right?
I did the broken heart,
Broken Heart. Yeah.
which is the way it's written. It's pomegranate juice,
Uh-huh.
Grand Marnier,
Yeah.
or triple sec, some type of orange liqueur, and vodka.
Okay.
So here, bottoms up
To finishing. Well, that part.
to
To
Stephanie.
finishing.
Hmm. That could use something.
Yes, it could. What do you think, Stephanie?
Okay.
I think it needs more simple syrup or something else.
Yeah, it's not quite sweet enough,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a lot of alcohol.
and a lot of
it's boozy.
and a lot of tart. It's a good breakfast, I think,
Yeah.
cocktail.
Sure, with some
Yeah.
eggs and
Sure.
Yeah.
I was like, breakfast. I
No.
was like, do I drink in the morning? Usually not.
Usually not.
only when you're on our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody, we happen to be recording in the morning, and we all made this, I think, and so we're like tasting it and going like, it's a little early for us.
It's a little rough. Maybe if I actually had a broken heart, that would
Oh,
taste
maybe.
good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like if you're drowning your sorrows from a broken heart.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a broken heart from cardiology, but it's not helping too much.
The only thing cardiology broke of mine was my spirit.
Yeah.
Well, as Dr. Jackson said, it's very simple. Air goes in and out, and blood goes round and round. That's all. That's all
Exactly.
you have to
You
know.
know, I really wish my test was like that. That would have been amazing. What goes in the lungs? Air. What goes out the lungs?
Air.
I'd probably still get it wrong. I would have a panic and be like, air goes round and blood goes in and out. And
I
they'd be
mean,
like,
blood
no.
does go in and out.
It does.
Technically, it's fine.
It depends on you. It depends on where you're sitting.
Well, yes, exactly. Oh, and there we go
Yeah.
again, dragging it down into the gutter.
Yep.
Well, what would you say since you've started back with your second, your second year of veterinary school? What is the best part of it so far?
The best part. I've had a lot of good things happen, and I have to say, like, this is probably the oddest one for some people, but our class held a re-election for our class boards, and I had to make the decision whether or not I was going to rerun. And ultimately, I like took a step back and looked at everything else I was doing with my life. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm really tired. And my mental health was not doing the best after first year. And so I decided not to rerun. And I was like, yeah, Stephanie, I'm not taking on anything else. It's going to be totally fine. And then this summer, I decided to take on another project.
You had all this free time now that you weren't class president.
Now that I wasn't class president, I was like, yeah, like I have so much time in my life. And I felt like a lot of pressure was off my shoulders. I didn't have to be on top of my emails 24/7. And I felt that I had a clear delineation between like friends, classmates, and like I felt like sometimes when I was talking to friends, it could be like, are they complaining to me as a president? Are they just complaining to me as a friend? And I felt like it was not the best environment for me. So I just, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I didn't rerun, but I took on another project, and it's super fun actually. I help run the student food pantry on campus now.
Oh, cool.
And it helps combat food insecurities for vet students. And so I feed people. That's like amazing. I'd love to feed people.
That's
That's
perfect for you.
Yeah. And so I've had a lot of fun with it. And it's been really nice to just be able to help vet students in not an academic way.
Nice.
So it's been a great project. It has been a lot of work. But I don't have to be on my email 24/7 anymore. So it feels nice.
Good for you. Well,
And you're still giving back to the whole school and
Yeah.
helping people who are.
Yeah. And it's been wonderful. I think the other day someone stopped me. I didn't know who she was. And she goes, "You're the food lady." And I was like,
oh,
"Oh, yeah, I can be. Sure." It was really cute.
that's awesome. And it's
Yeah.
good for you for like recognizing that, you needed to step away from the role of class president, because you'd be like, oh yeah, I just need to kind of keep doing this. That's what I would be like. I'd be like, I don't want to, I have to keep doing it. I said I was going to do it. I'm going to keep doing it. So that really good for you for recognizing that. And then finding something else to do is great. That also feeds your soul. Oh, feed your soul. as well
But
as well as other people.
yeah, we call ourselves the trough because
Mhm.
he yeah. We
Love
thought it
it.
was pretty catchy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, and is it right in the veterinary school then? So they can are there certain hours that it's open and
no, so it's kind of interesting how this one works is because we're main campus, like the undergrads have their own food pantry.
Mhm.
But we don't really want to drive 10 minutes, try to find parking, get food, and then come back. And so how this one works is at the moment we're just starting small and we're actually in the teaching hospital. And we're in a break room. We have a little corner, and it's like deliveries are on Mondays, and then people just come whenever they want food or need food, and then that's about it. And then soon we're gonna expand to like people that are not in clinical rotation, and so that'll be like first years to third years, and then that way they'll be able to get food as well. We also have a pre-order system, so if they don't want to fight for food at the pantry, they can pre-order food and we'll set it aside for them, and then they can just pick it up. But it's really rewarding. I like used to feed everyone back in high school. Like I'd make chocolate covered pretzels or something like that. And since vet school has started, I feel like I haven't been able to do that. And so this is a nice alternative.
yeah, and it's not something you would think about. Like you would think by the time someone had a college degree and were starting a graduate program or, you know, in the middle of a graduate program that, there would be enough resources. But,
Yeah.
is it because student loans are there, do you think it's a case of students just not wanting to take out more loans and living sort of on the edge? Or are there some that are really just trying to get through without student loans and that puts them in a situation where they can't afford food? I mean, how, just I'm just curious how that happens.
Yeah, we've heard a lot from a lot of students when we were doing surveys, and it seemed like a mixture of both. And then also, recently everything's gotten like 10 times more expensive,
Yeah.
and it's harder to
Mm,
just like keep up with, going to the grocery every week. And so we found out that it was, maybe they'd run out of food stamps or, oh, I can't remember the
Well,
program, but they give you money in a credit card and you can spend on certain,
like
what is that called?
EBT.
Yes, yes.
EBT.
Yeah.
I was like, "What is the
Yeah.
name of it?" And, it just, like, left my mind. But, yeah, it seems like they don't have enough in the EBT card to actually, like, keep buying food for themselves,
Oh.
or the
Mhm.
food that they're buying is not the healthiest or, just,
Sure.
doesn't nourish their bodies in the way that it should. But then there are also students that just, like, maybe forget to pack a lunch and they really need food, because
Right.
they're doing rotations. How are they gonna, keep up with everything when their stomach is growling? So
Mhm.
this
Yeah.
program is, open to those that are facing food insecurities mainly, but also if you forget a lunch, like there might be a can of chicken noodle soup hanging out and you can
Oh,
just go
yeah.
and eat that. But it's been very rewarding. And it was funny the other day we get to pick out of this huge menu of food and there was like Nesquik. You might remember Nesquik. I don't remember
We
it like
do. Oh, yes. Chocolate and
And
strawberry.
strawberry.
yeah.
Yeah.
This one was strawberry banana milk, and I sat there and I
Oh.
was like, "I don't remember the last time I had a Nesquik." It was a long time ago,
We
but it's been very nostalgic.
we went to
You
the
how does Davis oh,
I was gonna say, Scott, we went to the Nesquik, what do you call it? Where they made Nesquik. Do you remember that?
really?
When
No,
I was in
I
vet school,
didn't.
so we did on our food safety rotation, right? Our public health one, we actually went down to the plant where they, made Nesquik, and we learned how to do like sampling and making sure that the food was safe. And then when we were done, they gave us like, here's a free carton, like, like small, 8 ounces of whatever we wanted. And I got the strawberry Nesquik.
I was Blue Bunny ice cream for my public health rotation.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I got to go to
Interesting.
Lamar's, Iowa
Look.
for Blue Bunny ice cream.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yes, we
that's
went
where
to the
Shaney's from.
dairy. It is. Yes, Shaney, one of our classmates who's been on the podcast
Yeah.
before.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I would prefer ice cream over Nesquik.
Yeah. I'm kind of
Sorry.
jealous now.
You can sprinkle the powder on top of ice cream or mix it in.
Oh,
Oh.
It's
can
pretty
you?
good.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Trust me on this one.
Maybe that'll be for your next order when you're like When are
Yeah.
we gonna have food sitting
I don't
around?
know about that.
So 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 it sounds like so far we've heard the good things. You're figuring out like what you can commit, and you're still helping people in your class, in your school. And you mentioned like one of the negatives was just the sheer volume of information this year, which was, you know, in my
It's a
memory,
lot.
that's how second year was, but it never got worse than that. It just got more interesting, I think.
Yeah,
That I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like the material. It's just it's a lot. It's like
Yeah.
weekly exams and the material we're getting for each exam is really dense. And so I feel like I also have this horrible case of imposter syndrome right now and it's not going so well.
aw,
But yeah, it's like I feel like every time I try to learn something and I don't understand it, I get this feeling of like, oh my gosh, I have to know this for my future, career. And then I start thinking, oh my gosh, my career. And then I go, I'm not fit for this career. And then it's like a rabbit hole down.
aw.
It's really not the best.
And one
But
of the things that makes me sad, because Mike and I have talked about this,
Mhm.
and obviously we did an episode where we still struggle with imposter syndrome, and we're like, really old now.
yeah,
So, I mean, it's a very real thing in our profession. And I think, one of the things that kind of makes me sad from what I'm hearing from you is that maybe this aspect hasn't changed, which is I felt like the first couple years, or maybe even the first 3 years of vet school, when we went all those years ago, were sort of designed to break us down first, and then they only began to build us up at the end before we were turned out. So I would say, like, if you looked at my confidence levels through vet school, and my struggles with imposter syndrome, it would have just been ramping up right about now for you,
Yeah,
and probably would have continued through my third year before it started to get better.
right.
And it
okay.
sounds like, in some ways, do you feel like, is that something that you drive yourself to that perfection, or do you feel like, the program that you're in actually, has an effect on making you feel that way?
I think it's mainly me. I've always pushed myself a lot, and so I'm trying to learn not to push myself so much, and I'm on the point of like C's get degrees because while I do care about the material I'm learning, I also don't want to stress out every week because if I don't learn one thing, you know, and I get like a B on a test, then my life is ruined and all this stuff. But I think I get really worried that I'm gonna be in my job and they're gonna be like, "Stephanie, this dog is dying. What do we do?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay. So the heart looks bad." That's all I can say about that. Like I'm worried that like my brain isn't gonna be able to pull out what I need in order to,
Yeah,
do something in an emergency situation. And I was talking to some of the vets that I work with, and they're like, Stephanie, we always have friends around. Always ask them. But, you do need to know some things like you can think of a flow chart or like there's always diagrams you
yeah.
can put up if it helps you. And sometimes it just takes you need more like experience in that field to be able to do it with confidence. And I was like, yeah, but I feel like even with confidence, I can really only say that the heart pumps blood. Like, I don't know what else
You
I
know
can
what?
say.
In most cases, that's enough. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like in emergency cases, it like here's what I would say is that I agree with Scott that right now you are in like the thick of so much information and you cannot remember, and you're seeing it for the first time, a lot of it, and you're not going to remember it until you've seen it three, four, 5 times, and there's still stuff we don't remember. We were joking earlier about, can you tell us about, you know, well, what did you
V
say?
to
B
Q
to Q
mismatch,
mismatch or something? And I'm
Starling's law.
yeah, and like I recognize those things, but like I couldn't pull that out, and most of the time we don't need to, unless you're going to be a cardiologist, and then you will know that. You know what I mean? So you do belong here. You've got
That's a
this
no to
heart. Yeah.
cardiology. We've got it
There was
recorded in our.
there. I think she just threw up in her mouth a little bit.
Sorry
Cardiology.
to all the cardiologists out there. I mean, I love the material. Just that's not my area. So
But you have to also trust the process. right? You're going to
Yeah.
get through the process. You'll remember as much as you need to, and then you keep learning as you go. And
Yeah.
and you're going to have veterinary medicine is a team sport. You're going to
Hmm.
have lots of people helping you out. That's right through school and then all the way through. Oh, there's Ben. It's going to help right through there, and then as you get into your first jobs as well. Let's take a real quick break, and then when we come back, let's make Stephanie feel better for going for the rest of her second year and feel like she can do it and that she's part of the team. Hi, this is Dr. Mike, the Bowtie Vet Guy. Thanks for tuning in to The Vets Unleashed. If you want to find out more about us or our guests, or to leave an amazing review, head on over to thevetsunleashed.com or find us on Instagram or Facebook at The Vets Unleashed. There you'll find information on the podcast, how to be a guest, and our lecture series and speaking availability. Now let's get back to the show.
And we are back talking to our favorite UC Davis veterinary student, Stephanie Hahn. Hi,
Oh,
Stephanie.
Hi,
hi.
Stephanie.
So I'm curious to know, we've talked about where you're at in your second year now. What's next? What's your next module before Christmas? And what are you
Oh
looking
man.
forward to between now and um, 2023?
So next is endocrinology and reproduction, which will be interesting because I really like reproduction, but not so much endocrinology. It's just like a ton of hormone pathways that I know are important, but I just don't find it interesting. And then right before Christmas break, we have oncology, which I'm super excited about because I did my research project in oncology. So that'll be really fun. Um, and then in between now and Christmas, I'm really looking forward to like all the little small breaks and trips I'm gonna make for myself. Because I'm struggling a lot with keeping up with the amount of material, I figured, going outside and like going on little like day trips are a really good idea. And so me and my friend were talking about it and we decided that like uh we will go on day trips to like reward ourselves for getting through the week or go shopping or something just to do something else other than studying. Like we mainly just need to get out of Davis. And I love Davis, but I need to get out of Davis. So I think we're planning a lot of little day trips and stuff. So I'm really excited for that.
That seems so much
Yeah.
healthier than my strategy at that time, which was basically being a situational alcoholic.
I mean, there is alcohol involved. I just well, we'll see how much I drink, but no, it's a lot of just I think getting outside of Davis is going to be a good thing. So I'm
Yeah.
Sounds
excited.
like it.
Yeah.
Just fresh air and sunshine and
Yeah, I mean, and taking that time for yourself is not just important for your mental health, but it actually does help your studying to get those breaks in, to give
Yeah.
yourself a time away from the material. It allows your brain to sort of reset and can actually help you learn better.
Yeah, so I think that's what actually helped me first year was I was a stress cleaner, and so when I felt like I didn't learn anything, I would just really clean my house. And I remember my dog was looking at me one day and was like, "What the heck are you doing?" Because I was like scrubbing the floor, and I think I just needed to do something else than study, and it did help. And so I think I gave that up because I felt like I had to study more. I already had all the material, like I was supposed to know all this stuff, and I gave up my scrubbing the floor time, and and now I think that it messed me up a little bit.
just so you know, I'm here for you. My house is only 3 miles away. If you
Oh.
need any stress cleaning and your house
Yeah.
is clean, I mean, just that's the kind of thing that I'm willing to do for you. I
I
mean,
would
if you wanna get down on your hands and knees and scrub my floors, I'm
Oh,
okay with it. I'm willing to share my home with you.
Yeah.
I
Just
really
let
appreciate
go.
that. I think I'm more interested in that really cool wine fridge that you have in your house, and you can push all the buttons.
And in terms of, your classmates, did everyone make it through the first year? Was there anyone at the end of the first year that said, "I'm gonna take a year off to do a PhD," or, "This isn't for me," or did most of your class make it through?
Most of my class made it through. I think if I remember, one person went through first year, and then I think it wasn't even the full year, but she decided that she wanted to pursue other things and felt like vet school wasn't the right choice for her. So she ended up not being in the class anymore. And I commended her for that. I was like, wow, like, good for you for like realizing that you don't want to do this anymore before you get to like fourth year and you have so much debt and like,
Yeah.
you already been through this program for so long and then, decide you don't want to do it. So,
Yeah.
she left, and then I'm trying to think. I think one other person left for medical reasons. I wasn't entirely sure, but we had one person join our class. She, I believe, was on some kind of program. I cannot remember what it was exactly, but she came and joined our class. Um, and then I think we are having a couple more people join us next year, and then a couple people leaving us next year as well. A lot of friends that I know are applying to the dual degree program that Davis offers for like the master's in veterinary medicine or a PhD program. And so it's kind of like a pause between your second year, or it starts your second year. And so one of my good friends, she's applying, and I'm at the point of like, I really like want you to pursue what you want to do, but also please don't leave me.
Uh,
You can
So
also do like Davis's MVPM, their Masters in Veterinary Preventive Medicine, right?
yeah.
We had a couple like Sean Johnson, the marine mammal vet, who was on our show and was a classmate of mine and a friend of both of ours. He, after we graduated, immediately went to Davis to do that program and get his Master's
Oh.
in Preventive Medicine, Public Health. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I had a couple of my classmates actually get into that program. So they might be leaving. And I was like, okay, please like have fun, but also we're gonna miss you.
Is that 2 years? A 2-year master's program or one?
I think it's a year. It can be probably up to 2 years if you don't finish. But I think with the dual degree program, they really push you to finish in a year. And then the cool thing about that one for Masters in Preventative or MPVM, I'm just gonna say that. You can either start your second year or finish after your fourth year. Um, so it depends on when you want to start. And I think some of my classmates are feeling like, oh, maybe a break might be nice. Because like you guys said, it's a lot for second year. Or they might just, have other plans. And so I think some of them are taking it next year and we'll see. I'm gonna miss them.
Well, any final thoughts for the veterinary students and future veterinary students that are tuning in to listen? Um,
Oh gosh. You
Words of
got
wisdom.
words of wisdom for those in veterinary school. I promise it as bad as I feel right now, I think I'm still really happy as an individual. Like I feel very fulfilled and um I'm still happy. I think that's really important. I'm taking time for myself and I'm learning to adjust to this new hectic work lifestyle, but I am happy. And then maybe for those that are applying, uh, maybe think about a gap year. I I didn't take a gap year,
yeah.
and so I think I was just like, it's school, 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 school. But now thinking about it, a gap year would have been nice, or like just a little break before the chaos started. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, good advice. Well, I'd like to tell you that I'm very happy that you are like looking out for your own mental health and you're finding things that fulfill you to do with your time, but also that you belong. Just to reiterate,
Oh.
you are now part of the veterinary community. You are one of us, and you absolutely belong.
Oh. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. It's something I need to hear sometimes because I feel like I don't belong. Actually, I just told my friend the other day, she's not in vet school, and I was like, I don't belong here. And she goes, what are you talking about? I was like, I feel like I don't belong here. So that was really appreciated.
Uh, Sometimes I feel that way about Earth.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go to Mars.
Yep.
We can go to
yeah.
Mars.
Yeah.
And final question for you. We're nearing the end of our Stephanie Hahn time for this season, but I would love to know if you could look in a crystal ball now with another semester of wisdom and knowledge and school behind your belt. Where do you think you'll be at graduation? Like, what will be the next thing?
The next thing after graduation, I definitely see myself not doing an internship. For some reason, I just like don't see myself doing that at all. And I think I might just find a emergency practice or GP and just start working. Um, I honestly, I love my job. I work in ER and I work as a at a shelter, and it's probably one of my favorite things every week is being able to go to work. It's just the studying part I can't handle right now. And I'm really excited for my career, and I love, just working. So I think I just want to go back and start working like a normal person. And I'm excited for that. And then maybe a couple years later, like a residency if I really feel like I need it. But I think for now, my goal is just to start working in a practice. And maybe I'll work with Dr. Mike. You know how fun that would be?
That would be awesome. Let me come down.
But
Yeah.
I'd be jealous. Then I'd
yeah.
have to move south.
Yeah, you would. That sounds great. Well, we'll definitely we'll get you down here and see so you can see what it's like at my busy practice.
Yeah, I'd love that. Oh, no, I see your Instagram stories all the time. You have really cute cats and dogs.
Yeah, yeah, and just to let everybody know, what you see on the Instagram is not everything that happens. That's only the cute stuff. There's other stuff that happens, so don't judge your life based
Not all
on
puppies and rainbows and
yeah.
sunshine.
Don't judge your life based on other people's Instagram. But it is a lot of fun.
It is fun. No, I mean, I do it all the time. I'm like, this is not my life, but it's a cute dog,
Yep.
and here you go.
Yep,
But
exactly.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, thank you, Stephanie, for joining us again. We just love hearing from you, and we're wishing the best for you, and we know you can do it. So keep in touch and come back and talk to us anytime.
Oh, thank you
All
guys.
right.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Cheers. Perfect. Thanks for joining us for drinks and a conversation about veterinary medicine and our beloved animals. The Vets Unleashed podcast is wholly owned by the Vets Unleashed LLC with excellent production by Earweevil Audio. For more information about us, head over to thevetsunleashed.com. And as always, don't take advice from people who've been drinking.